Cities in Motion is a mass transit simulator we released back in 2011, and we are now working on a sequel for that game. The basic idea in Cities in Motion is to build a mass transit network within the city. And at the moment in Cities in Motion 2, you will have buses, metro trains and trams at your disposal. And this is just a pre-alpha version of the game, so the first playable, and we are still going to work on it, and we're set for release in Q2 in 2013. So there's still a long way to and a lot of work to be done, but this is just to give you a glimpse of what the game will be. Major changes from Cities in Motion is actually how the time is set in Cities in Motion 2. In the first game we had this 100 years timeline starting from 1920s, and we introduced the history of the public transport, whereas the day was very, very short in that. And our fans have been asking us to add timetables, and then we figured out that okay, with the day being so short, it will be very unrealistic to have schedules there. So now we actually are in the present day, and one day is 24 minutes long. So we are introducing rush hour, night time, and all the day and night cycle, like in a real city, how it goes with the traffic. So here you can see how the traffic starts to calm down for the night, people are getting to their homes. And the schedules you might want to plan so that during the rush hour you have every 5 or 10 minutes a bus leaving from the station, whereas during the night maybe bus once per hour is enough. Another really big change is that the city is now growing dynamically. In Cities in Motion we had very little effects when the player was doing their choices, and in the city you couldn't really see any kind of other than the city was just growing, and then you had to answer to those needs. In Cities in Motion 2 you can actually build roads, and especially roads with bus lanes is something that people have been asking for. This is a good road to place in the city centers, for example, because then you are making sure that the buses are not getting stuck in traffic. So how the dynamic city works is that if you have attractive network in your city, working transportation, people are actually more willing to move to your city. So placing roads and making sure that your network is efficient, you can see how people are really starting to build their houses. There will be workplaces, more leisure sites, shopping centers appearing. And what makes this really cool is that when you start from a certain point, you actually see a difference if you are using more, if you're going more heavy with the metro trains, for example, or then if you are using buses, or just you could, even with the big map size we have, start from 2 different points and then see how the smaller towns actually connect to this one huge city. The changes don't just happen in the outskirts of the city, but also in the city centers. So you can see, for example, what used to be a suburbia might be actual office buildings, and really this makes the game interesting and challenging because you will have to adapt the network to all of these changes. What we can't demonstrate yet is the multiplayer, which we will also have in Cities in Motion 2. It will have cooperative and competitive modes. So we'll tell you more about those later. But really those are the biggest features, so the day and night cycle with timetables, dynamic cities and the multiplayer. One thing that we didn't have in Cities in Motion were the depots. We just had vehicles magically appearing to the lines. So now we actually added depots. So here you can see a bus depot being placed. So all the vehicles that you want to buy, they will and when they are not in traffic, they will be placed in the depots and waiting there to get to the different lines. Stations are placed you can see the catchment area around it, so people are willing to walk that area. This is still there's no balancing done, so this will definitely change according to different kind of stations. Some stations and stops are more attractive than others, and there's still some work to be done. But the basic idea is that you place a depot, you decide where you put your where you want your stops, and then you build a line. We have at the moment one vehicle available. There will be plenty of choices with the vehicles also. With the trams and metro, you also have to build tracks, so that's a bit more costly means of transportation, but also more efficient. And after the investment, metro trains, for example, are fairly cheap to maintain. So depending on the size of your city, you might want to make the investments. The metro trains are seen up here. This is an elevated metro, so you can decide on 3 layers where you want the metro to go. We have the underground mode, where you can actually, it's very useful in the city centers, for example, to have the underground. The metro trains can also go, the tracks may be laid on the ground and also elevated, like we see here on the bridges. So there are ways to avoid the traffic if you want fast routes. In the final game we will have Sandbox Mode, which is completely free-to-play mode, where you can actually, or a free mode, where you can choose exactly how you want to build the network. In the campaign mode we will have 12 scenarios where we give goals that you should try to achieve. For example, make sure that your city grows certain percentage in certain time, and these types of bigger goals. But we also want to give a freedom there to choose how you want to achieve this goal.